Scenes like these are a distant memory for the 50,000 annual visitors to the Swiss Institute of Contemporary Art in New York. Months of closure due to the coronavirus have impacts that could last years.
It has repercussions over the next 3 years, actually, because we needed to change the schedule entirely. Most artists actually have been happy to have more time to think about their exhibitions. Our concern is really mostly about the service that we can provide to our community.
However, unlike many cultural institutions in the US that had to furlough staff during the crisis, the Swiss Institute did not.
It's been quite striking to see the huge difference between the United States museums and art nonprofits response to the COVID-19 crisis in comparison to European museums. It's been very sad to see that a lot of cultural organizations have had to let go of large number of employees. It has not happened in Europe, as far as I know, at least in the same proportion. The United States has been a total catastrophe, and I'm greatly worried about the future of the organizations that have had to make those terrible choices.
And why were you able to keep your staff? Is it because you got extra support?
So one of the things that's been truly inspiring in the face of this crisis is the sense of collegiality, of collaboration that has happened between a number of organizations, and Swiss Institute has been part of a group that's received support from large American philanthropic foundations, such as the Cy Twombly Foundation or the König Foundation, a number of artist-led foundations, actually, that have been very quick to respond. And this has been foundational, transformative support for a lot of small organizations.
Besides these foundations, you also have individual supporters, art dealers, and they are also struggling. So how are they reacting? Are they pulling out or still helping?
Well, we've been very lucky and very grateful to receive continuing support from most of our friends throughout the past 2 months, and we hope this will continue. Our board also has been incredibly supportive. The real question mark for all cultural organizations is what happens when emergency support stops? What happens when all of your fundraising strategies have to be put on hold and you face an uncertain future? How sustainable is the model in the long term when 80% of our income comes from private philanthropy? How do you maintain that? How do you maintain that being a Swiss organization in New York City when there are so many issues in the United States? How do the Swiss government has laid out a very generous support program for the cultural field. However, Swiss Institute is unable to benefit from it because it's not located in Switzerland itself. So there's lots of these issues that we're grappling with at the moment.
And why are you worried about the funding from privates? Do you think that then this in the long term might be risky to just rely on that?
Well, it is undeniable that the economy is being hard hit by the situation, and it will have long-term ramifications. So we are looking at a future where private philanthropy is likely to be impacted. So we'll have to have a long, hard look at what sources of income Swiss Institute can benefit from in order to continue doing the work that it does.
And what would the options be, or what options are you looking at? I mean, okay, you have Pro Helvetia, it's about 20% of your income, is that correct?
16%.
Okay, 60%. So then you have also some support from New York City, from their Arts Council. What other options would there be?
Well, it's been helpful for Swiss Institute to be able to benefit from U.S. government support through the Paycheck Protection Program, as have many small businesses and nonprofits. There's always foundation support. The American philanthropic foundations have been, as I said earlier, very active in this crisis in trying to save a lot of museums and small nonprofits from simply disappearing. And also the individual support has been key. There's been talks throughout the cultural sphere globally about the need for heightened governmental involvement in the cultural world. We've witnessed over the past 50 years a decrease of governmental support to the arts, and now it appears more essential than ever.
So while the Swiss Institute is closed for visitors, new opportunities for conversation have developed through its digital initiatives such as virtual studio visits and educational programs. Tanya König, CNN Money Switzerland.